Thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my partner in crime, my esteemed colleague. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. It's not Eric Dalala.
Phil. Great to be with you.
Are you trying to be like me? Ah!
You okay there?
Yeah, trying to get people excited.
Get excited. Nothing people like more than being at.
Yeah. That's how Chris Berman, he's made an entire career of that.
That's right.
Yeah. He's the best.
That's how all good podcasts get going.
Yeah. We're also here with Ben Swanson in studio.
Yeah, I'm also here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good. You would think with the beard that it would sound better than that, but.
Oh, wow. Mean.
The beard's just taped on.
Yeah, it's fake.
Yeah, it is fake. Huh? It's the preseason bye week.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I feel ready for the regular season.
I know. That's really, this is just sort of, let's get this party started.
You think there's some juice for this season?
I think there's a lot of juice.
What about for the season opener, the Lions, Chiefs? You don't hear much juice about that these days.
I see. That's 1 week from today.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, depending on when you're listening to this.
That. Yeah, you kind of forget.
If you're listening to this tomorrow, it's not.
I thought that you were talking about juice for the Broncos season.
Well, sure, yeah. I just mean like the season.
The season coming up.
Season.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. You think that there's a lot of juice for that? I've been watching Hard Knocks. You get Aaron Rodgers out there, and
I'm talking about the Chiefs and the Lions.
Just that specific game.
Is there juice for that game?
I haven't heard a lot, but maybe I think next week there'll be a lot of ramp
out in
up.
the forest.
It's too early. It's too early.
Too early?
Yeah, next week there'll be a nice ramp up to that.
I mean, if they had chosen the Bengals to play there, for example.
Yeah, you think
oh my gosh. They would have been talking about that for months.
That's true. That is true. Do you think there's Mahomes fatigue? Like, yeah, we get it. He's amazing.
Certainly here in Denver. Yeah. Certainly in my mind.
It's like, look, we got it. He's amazing.
I'm fatigued of Mahomes.
Yeah.
Been fatigued for years.
You've been fatigued, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He should just go away.
I don't think he's going to. I don't think so.
What if we had him? Said, Pat, you come on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I want to go on Travis Kelce's podcast. And I'm like, well, you come on our podcast.
I learned something new from that Travis Kelce podcast, actually.
What did you learn?
He said that when teams play like the Chiefs, they wear red-colored gloves.
Didn't I tell you this?
No, you didn't. I watched him say it to me. And then I said, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because he said that other teams wear red-colored gloves, and it's harder to see the holding.
Yeah.
Which, of course, similarly, the Broncos wear white-colored cleats, so you can't tell if they're out of bounds.
That's true. Then that worked.
And that worked. But I don't think that, like, Broncos players can wear red gloves, though. Can they?
I think you can.
I didn't know you could do that. I thought you had to wear your own team colors. But Kelce says other teams wear
Some
red
guys
gloves.
wear, like, no, because Edelman, I guess red is a Patriots color.
Yeah. But I don't know if the Broncos can do this.
Maybe when red teams play the Chiefs on the road, they wear red gloves. Because when you're playing the Chiefs at home,
you can wear white.
You wear white gloves.
Yeah, and it's harder to do it.
According to NFL football operations.
Yes, excuse me, gentlemen.
Pulled up right here.
So I got a couple of facts.
Players cannot wear headgear or any other equipment or apparel that, in the opinion of the uniform inspector or the referee, may confuse an opponent because its color is similar.
You don't want to confuse your opponent.
You don't want to do that.
They're like, that play call wasn't allowed because it was too tricky.
Really confusing.
It confused my friend.
That's like when they tried to announce that an offensive lineman is eligible.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what? What is going on? You could pass it to this guy? What?
It's true.
Very confusing. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about what we'll talk about.
Okay. So you'll watch next Thursday.
I'm going to watch that game, yeah.
Yeah, I will too.
Just because football's back. I mean, I'll watch pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I think Nebraska plays Minnesota tonight in college football. I'll probably watch a little bit of that. I'll definitely be watching that. Coach Prime,
go Buffs.
Those guys ready to go.
Yeah.
I am nervous about the lines, the offensive line and the defensive line.
What other lines are there?
I'm just hearing some stuff out of there.
I'm hearing some
things. Stuff. Yeah. A little bit of concerns, but we'll have to see. Yeah. Of course, TCU played in the national championship last year. A lot of changes for the Horned Frogs, but we'll see. They're still a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Pretty good squad. So we'll see.
Favored by more than 20, I think.
3 touchdowns. Yeah. I think that's
upset of the century.
Coach Prime, don't doubt. We coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll be watching. You're going to watch too, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't miss a second of my Buffs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Plus, you don't have a college anymore, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So, I'm saying you fired up for college football?
I am. My Tar Heels playing South Carolina.
QB May?
Yeah.
Gonna get knocked around by Spencer Rattler.
It'll be high scoring. I promise you that.
Yeah.
You promise?
I promise.
Coach Mac Brown, of course,
What time
a
is the
friend
game?
of the program.
What time
Yeah.
is the game?
It's at 5:30 Mountain.
Oh, late.
Late. Oh, wow.
You okay there over there?
You're watching a little preview right there? Yeah, a little too fired up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
bored
gotta-
with
we
the,
gotta pay
the
attention.
podcast.
Yeah. What time will the game end? When will the fourth quarter be?
I don't know.
It starts at 5:30. 5:30, yeah, 5-hour
10:30.
game. Yeah, 10 hours.
So that's 12:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
It's past some people's
Some
bedtimes.
bedtimes will
You'll be sleepy at that point.
Yeah. Have to put on your glasses.
You always you
Sleepy.
keep your
I
glasses
keep my
on.
glasses so I don't have to get them.
You have to
I'm
put 'em
always
on.
sleepy.
Exactly.
So on today's show, we'll be talking about the players. We're going to rank maybe, what do you think, top 3 players that we're most excited about?
I thought we were doing 1 to 53.
No,
No, okay.
you did too much homework.
Darn.
Yeah,
Feel
sorry.
bad for 50.
The players that you're most excited to watch in the season opener against the Raiders.
Ooh.
Yep.
Talking about the season opener already?
Yeah, it's about 10 days away now. I think that you could start talking about it.
Okay.
The players you're most excited to see. They've had a big offseason. You're excited to see them out there. Unleashed, if you will.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then maybe we'll talk a little bit about the wide receiver position, Eric. Jerry Jeudy, we're unsure about his availability for this game. So what are the Broncos going to do at wide receiver? What are they going to do?
What are they going to do?
Yeah, you're like, whatever. But, with the roster constructed as it is currently, we got some stuff to talk about, I think.
You have to in today's world. Phil, in a globalized world, you have to think beyond the 53-man roster.
Strategery.
Yeah.
Strategery. How do you think? What do you have to think about? What's
You
beyond?
have to think about more than
beyond?
the 53. Well, we'll get to that.
Ooh, tease.
We don't want to spoil it.
Tease. Wow. Gosh.
Synergy.
Yeah. But before we dive into that, Eric, this is an interactive show.
It is. That's why Ben Swanson's here.
Yeah. Won a contest.
Yeah. Again. Phil, there are many ways that you can get involved in the show. You can leave a voicemail at 707 Neutral. We got any of those, Swanson?
Voicemails. We had a couple. They're sadly outdated.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Jeff Flanagan, even our old friend.
Flanagan.
Yeah, he mentioned a tight end that we can't really.
Oh,
Yeah.
he who must not be named.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
Good for
we
you
can't-
that you no longer have to try to pronounce that because you didn't ever
I
do it.
always nailed that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I watched Broncos postgame.
It's the Broncos postgame show.
Yeah, I watched that. Nate Jackson, of course, joined you.
Yeah, former Broncos wide receiver.
He
tight end.
nailed the name of this former tight end.
Yeah.
You did not.
When I was doing the highlights, he kind of chuckled after I said his name, and I was like, "What was that about?"
Yeah. Huh. Did I not say that right?
Yeah.
You didn't.
Huh.
He's like, weird. He's laughing like the same way that Eric and Ben laugh after I say stuff.
Yeah.
It's a nice show. It's a nice show. The Broncos
sorry,
postgame
Jeff.
show.
Sorry, Jeff.
We did
Okay,
get
yeah, sorry. Tom Magnetti.
Things move fast in a digital world.
Yeah, Tom Magnetti.
We got an email.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Phil, we talked to him about this.
Yeah, we talked about emails.
Yeah. We're not there yet.
And that's not this part of the program.
Phil, you can also leave an email
Yep.
at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. Ben, did we get any emails?
We did get one.
Was it good?
Andy Maines, right?
We got one from Renee.
Oh, you kept that one a secret.
Oh,
No, I
You
forwarded
saw
that
it,
one.
right?
Renee. Okay, what does it say?
It says,
I
need
can't
more
read it.
neutral zone content from you guys. Nice. Thank you.
Ooh.
And then also get Sydney back as a guest.
Oh, who's Cindy? What is that? Well, Eric, I think soon we'll be doing 2 programs a week. Program.
Yeah. Phil, we do have some sad news.
Yeah, what is that?
Do we share it now?
I think you should.
I think you should.
Yeah,
now.
I think you should.
Phil, we We will no longer be at the Breckenridge Brewery farm home
on Mondays.
on
Yeah.
Mondays. Every other night we'll still be there just hanging out, but the podcast will no longer be broadcast live.
There
were too many people showing up for it, and it was just kind of an infrastructure situation.
Plus that thing with Swanson at the end of last year.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. The bathroom.
Yeah, we can't go back after
the
that.
curtain.
So, yeah. So,
And the pint glass.
Police were there. EMTs were there.
It got messy.
It was not good. So we can't go
That's
back.
why Swanson can't drink
there was
stouts.
paint everywhere.
Watercolors strewn across the facility.
Yeah. So
Oh,
much
watercolors. That's easy.
So much paint, though.
Yeah.
So,
Pastels. Oils
The oils would have been a problem.
everywhere. Brushes just broken in half.
yeah. So,
People are crying.
yeah, we cannot go back.
No. No, in all
so-
seriousness, we loved our time at Breckenridge Brewery's farm home, and
We
have
did. We
nothing
enjoyed
but
that.
great things to say about those lovely people there.
But we'll still be doing a show on Mondays.
Yes, we will.
Just from home.
Well,
This is our home,
yeah,
right here in the studio.
that's right.
This is where we live,
Always.
always. So,
Ben lives in that dark little corner over there.
yeah. There's a reason why the background is all black.
He crawls
So we
there's
can
kinda
sleep.
like, you ever seen Tom and Jerry?
Yes, I've
Swanson
seen
kind of
Tom and
goes
Jerry.
into the little
The
hole.
mouse hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sleeps in a matchstick box. Or an old sardines can or something.
These cameras,
they're
these cameras are a little weird. He's smaller than he appears on camera.
Yeah.
Kind of the
It
opposite of like a
adds-
rear view mirror.
Yeah. Well, they say the camera adds like a whole body
Yeah.
size.
Camera adds 100 pounds.
YouTube.
What were we talking
On
about?
YouTube. And then also you can leave a comment at the Broncos official YouTube page.
Yeah.
Which we're going to do
Right now.
right now. So we got some people who aren't big fans of the show this week. Jan Chondo, the neutral zone is boring and lame. Always has been, always will be.
Oh,
What do we think about that?
Jan Shondo?
Jan. What do we think, Jan?
Well, if this wasn't entertaining, I don't know what is.
J. Prez Bronk. Sean Payton gives off Greg Popovich vibes. What do you think? Greg Popovich vibes.
I had a run-in with Greg Popovich back
Oh,
in my
really?
day. Yeah.
Really? Too much wisdom.
No,
He was
too
gonna
much of
really
being
handle it. Oh,
a rude person.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? To you?
Yeah.
Did you ask a bad question?
No.
Because
He
usually if
probably
it's a bad
did.
question, he doesn't have any
Did you
patience.
ask him about an injury?
No. I asked him, I don't, this was a long time ago. I don't remember the guy's name. I asked him about some young basketball player.
Manu Ginobili at that point.
No. I think before that, David Robinson, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But this was a young basketball player on the
Sean Elliott?
Miami Heat.
Oh.
Yeah, Udonis Haslam.
Yeah,
And
Dwayne Wade.
Alonzo Mourning. And this young player was very good at defense and was trying to become better at offense. And I asked him a question, hey, how did Kawhi go about improving his offense after starting as a really good offender? And then he just said some sort of expletive, and
Really?
that was just kind of shook his head.
He didn't like it.
No.
Wow.
So I will say the Greg Popovich, Sean Payton thing, I don't see it. I think they're both very good teachers, but I think in dealing with the press, Sean, I think, is much more willing to say, hey, let me
Explain
explain this to you.
philosophies.
Let me explain
Yeah,
a
yeah.
philosophy. Let me teach you about this.
Yeah.
Which is very
His
helpful.
thoughts. Yes.
During practice, like today's practice, for example, as we're recording this, end of game scenarios or talking about
yes.
stuff. The press can hear what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I learned something
Yeah.
during each presser. Peter King said the same thing.
Yep.
Hey, Sean Payton, I've learned more from Sean Payton about football than anybody. So I think Sean's a little more willing to share.
Yeah.
These sorts of things.
I agree. Yeah. Especially like the in-game. They do the in-game with the NBA coaches. I
Yeah.
don't think that he likes that too much. Greg
What gives you
Popovich.
that idea?
I just can tell.
Yeah. That's kind
I can just
You're
kinda
very
tell.
intuitive.
Yeah, I pick up on these types of things. But both obviously very accomplished coaches.
You think my question
what I
was
mean?
good or bad?
That's a pretty good one, I
Thanks.
think. Yeah,
He didn't
Kawhi
like
Leonard
it.
was
He didn't like it.
That's a good comp. Mirai Dap. I don't think I read it right, but I think you get the point. You guys are goobers, but I love it. Heart emoji, confetti emoji.
Nice.
So
take
that
goober.
one's nice. Trent Buckle says, talk about a sleeper video. Z's amazingly bad, boring, rambling about nothing.
It's a good roast.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Gotcha.
yeah, kind of just
Kind of killed the mood.
yeah, sorry.
Any nice ones?
Kitland 9665. You officially lost my interest when you said the great company Nike.
Ooh.
Oh, I was like, what?
Okay.
What? And then last week, remember we were talking about some business pitches?
Nope.
Gabe
Not
Brock
really.
says, can't lie, you guys have me cracking up with those business pitch comedy gold.
Yeah, I don't remember what we talked about, but you're welcome.
Yes. And then Bubba Hart says, you guys are funny. I love it. Broncos fan from Connecticut. Hey, NZ, who is the best Broncos all-time duo? Like Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Carl Mecklenburg, Randy Gradishar. I don't think that they overlapped. But Champ Bailey. Oh, maybe he's just talking about the same position. Champ Bailey and Talib. He wants to know, what do you think is like a position? John Lynch and Steve Atwater. That's what he means. So one position, like two players at that position. Who are the top twos?
Oh, like a John Elway and
I think
Peyton
a John
Manning.
Elway. Yeah, I forgot. Broncos from Connecticut. Forgot those two.
What about like a Phil Milani, Matt Boyer?
I would have said Phil Milani, Eric Dalal. That's a good duo.
I thought it was Nate
Trio.
Boyle.
Yeah, Nate Bird. What was that
What
guy's
was it?
name?
Nate? What did they say? Nate Boyle or something?
What did he say?
This was like last week. A comment.
Yeah.
Oh,
He said, I remember when you worked with Andrew Mason and Nate Boyle.
Oh, yeah. I remember that too. That was a nice time. That was a good time.
Our favorite, yeah.
Yeah, probably
Maybe-
John and Peyton, I think,
Yeah.
have to be there.
Ben Swanson and Pablo Picasso.
I didn't know Pablo worked here.
Yeah, back in the day.
You could do
Quonset
like a
Hut.
Gary Zimmerman, Ryan Clady.
Yeah.
Those are two good left
Jim
tackles. there.
Sakamano, Patrick Smythe.
That's true.
TD
PR gurus.
Yep.
TD and Floyd Little.
TD
Couple
Floyd
Hoffs.
Little. Yeah, that's true. A couple Hoffs there. There's great
ones,
tradition
yeah.
here. There's great tradition. There's a lot of positions you can just pick.
I think by the end of this year, we're going to be talking about Pat as it's going to be Champ and Pat.
Oh,
Wow.
no longer Talib.
Well, I don't think it's Talib right now. Do you? I mean, Louis Wright probably.
Louis Wright, you think? Yeah.
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 Here.
Yeah, but Talib could become a Hall of Famer possibly.
Yeah.
So if you got two
Possibly.
Hall of Famers,
But Pat, I think
you think so?
like he was in year 2 and he's good.
And now he's in year 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gooder
Ah, nice. He still floats out there. I tell you, he's smooth.
on the road.
Yeah. He just floats on the grass.
I think Pat's just going to get to the point where you're like
this guy's ridiculous. It's
hard-
insane.
Hard to
Don't throw it that way ever.
like you're going to think of Champ and Pat, I think, in similar breaths.
Oh. After this year.
Maybe not them equal after this year, but like I think he'll be like
In that convo.
that's the guy.
Ah, okay. Okay, I like that.
Pat's good.
Yeah.
He's
if you're
diff.
talking about, yeah, he is diff. He's built diff. I was telling somebody, I think I was telling Steve Atwater about, we're talking about how guys just like excel at every level, you know, because like Marvin Mims, we were talking about him and just how in high school, college, like this guy's just been the best at stuff, you know, growing up. And I was like, yeah, when we went over to Pat's house for back home, he just had like a pile of like state championship track medals just like in the corner of his room. He's like, oh, what are these again?
Yeah.
Or like the SEC Defensive Player of the Year trophy. It was just like sitting there. It was like behind the TV or something, you know, like it's just there's too many of them for him.
Didn't Jokic lose his MVP?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, the
Did he?
finals MVP.
Finals MVP. Wasn't he
Oh,
like where
really?
did
It's
that go?
gone. Oh, yeah.
I think he was like, I don't know where that is.
I think he's probably just
But
joking.
I think equipment had taken it.
He's joking, yeah. I hope he's joking.
Oh, they found
took
it.
it?
Oh, they found it, see?
Oh.
Like it
It
was,
could have
I
been
think
like
it
a
was
Brady
between-
helmet situation,
I
you
think
know?
it was between like the post game and the parade. I think.
In the end game.
Post-game show. Yeah.
All right.
On Nuggets
Okay.
post game live.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we dive into our first and most important topic, Eric?
Yeah.
That's ranking the top 3 players we're most excited to see head into this season and face the Raiders in this opener.
All right, should we start with number 2?
No, we should start. Well, do you want to do it 3-2-1, or you want to do 1-2-3, or how do you feel?
That's why I said maybe we could do 2-3-1.
No, I wouldn't do it that way. I don't like that way.
Maybe we do a draft.
Let's do a countdown.
Instead of a rank, because I feel like
so I can't pick the same guys as you.
Well, then that gets
that
boring.
way we get 6 guys. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's do
You
it.
want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, I'll go with Russell Wilson.
Oh, fine. That's okay. Yeah, I'll say that. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, who else could it really be, right? Like we spent all off season wondering what this is going to look like with Russ. He's looked great in training camp, has slimmed down, running around, throwing the ball around. I talked to Mike McGlinchey the other day, and he used an expletive when he described his reaction to a couple of throws that Russ has made.
So people, when they talk to you, just use a lot of expletives.
Yeah.
That's what I'm starting to pick up on. Maybe
thread
it's not really a Greg Popovich thing.
But this was a good one. This was like,
it's a good
my
expletive.
goodness.
This guy's amazing.
How the bleep did he do that? Well,
really?
That wrong expletive, actually.
He said that? How did he do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
How does he do this bleep?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
The expletive was nonsense.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to say that.
You wouldn't
It's a
want to-
family
sorry
show.
to say that
It's a family
out
show.
loud. But yeah, I think he's made some big time throws running around. We saw the offense look better against the Niners. I just think that he's going to take a nice little step here. But the question is, how much? How quickly does it happen? Does he look like the old Russ? And we're going to get our first idea here against the Raiders. And a lot of the season boils down to this question of what does Russell Wilson look like in Sean Payton's system?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about how these two are going to work together. And so far, it seems like it's been going pretty well. And, if that 49ers game is sort of any indicator of what it could look like, you're talking about more of what Russ was like in Seattle and more of maybe what the Broncos thought that they were trading for when they made that move. So, yeah, I mean, on paper, this team could be really good if Russ is like that. So I think that's the guy that we want to see. If he's rocking on all cylinders, this team could be pretty good, I think. So I say, maybe I'll say then PS2 then. Just because of what happened last year with against Devontae Adams.
So this
That
is
was
more
sort of
matchup
well,
specific.
and then also just like, hey, are there areas where he has improved? You know, if that even existed. You know, I don't know if it existed. He said just keep doing the same thing, consistency, that kind of thing. But look, he's probably the best cornerback in football. And so to go out there and see somebody like that perform and do it for an entire season, you're excited about that. But then also, yeah, for this matchup in particular, I think that Adams is like the one guy who had some success against PS2 last year. And of course, that overtime touchdown was the last memory that you have of those two going at it. So I'm sure that, if PS2 says, hey, I've been trying to get better, I've been watching tape, I've been studying, I'm sure he studied that play and that matchup a lot.
Yeah, this is a big game for PS2 from a narrative standpoint, right? Because Devontae is the only guy. I mean, DJ Moore had a little bit of success in Carolina, but Devontae had that big touchdown. And
I think he had one before that in that same game, right? Here in Denver.
Sure.
I don't
know.
I think Adams had 2 touchdowns in that game.
I just remember the big play as like I don't think without that big play. He did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there was one play where he started in and then maybe he handed him off to Simmons or something, but he was like wide open at the beginning for a touchdown early in that game.
But after that game, of course, Devontae, I think, talked to the camera, he ain't ready or he ain't here yet or something like that over and over. Not afraid to talk some talk.
Talk some noise?
Yeah, some junk. If Pat comes out and shuts Devontae down, I think nationally it'll get talked about as, hey, Pat Surtain stops Devontae Adams. If Devontae comes out and has a big game and the Raiders win, the narrative will be, has PS2 taken a step back? And as you're trying to, these all-pro awards, defensive player of the year,
matters.
that sort of thing, narrative matters. And so if he shuts Devontae down, holds him to 3 or 4 catches, less than 50 yards, and has a pick maybe, that's going to start his season off really well and in the spotlight. So big game for PS2.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I just think I agree with you with the narrative, and then just I imagine knowing Pat a little bit that probably ate at him a little bit, so the competitor inside him, I'm just excited to see how he bounces back from that.
Yeah.
And it was the game in Las Vegas too. There was a little bit of back and forth between those guys too.
Yeah, but Pat handled him in that one.
He played well, but I think Adams had a few.
But they were Adams' catches were not on PS2.
Oh, got it.
Like he had an end zone breakup against Devontae, I think. He had some good plays. It was the Raiders figured out in that game how to get PS2 off Devontae, and he had some big plays. So that's another thing is the Broncos got to figure out how do you keep
him
PS2 on Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with you went with PS2. I'm going to go with CS14.
Oh gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that like a Star Wars thing or something or what?
Cortland Sutton.
Sutton?
Yeah, as Ben Swanson would say.
Yeah. What's his name?
Sutton.
Sutton.
Up to Sutton.
He's up to Sutton.
Yeah. The newly married Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Congrats to him.
No honeymoon though.
No, the season is the honeymoon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
About to take a honeymoon to the end zone. I obviously with Jerry, who knows what his status is going to be for that game. Cortland's had
We don't know.
a great training camp. Looks to be back to the same player he was.
Slim down.
Yep. Muscled up. Got some strong hands.
Yeah, he's on the Jordan Beasley workout plan.
He's ready to go. I'm excited to see what he's able to do. It's kind of, it's time to show it. And he's going to face a little more attention, especially if Jerry Jeudy doesn't play.
Yep.
But he's got to still make plays. Cortland, the issue has never been the ability to have a big game. He's always had the ability to break out for 100 yards, 150 yards, whatever. It's the consistency of, not having games where it's 2 or 3 catches for 25 yards. And so can he start this season out strong, have a big game, help the Broncos get through a stretch where they might potentially not have Jerry Jeudy, and get in the end zone? I mean, I think Cortland Sutton had among the top end zone targets in the league last year and only had 2 touchdowns. This is a guy that you would think should have 5 to 10
Big
touchdowns
numbers.
easily.
Big guy.
And so, can they get to him in the red zone? Can they take advantage of those opportunities? We've seen it from Cortland all through camp. Want to see it on the field. Yeah,
definitely. You want to see it translate out there into a game that matters, to be able to do it consistently. And he's going to have to play well if Judy's unavailable to play there, because we'll talk about this a little bit later, but he's going to have to be like that sort of security blanket for Russ, I think, the dependable guy that you can, it's third down, I'm looking at 14 first here. Yep. So he's going to have to sort of step up into that role. So yeah, that'll be a player to watch. I think I'm going to go with Mike McGlinchey for the
that was going to be my 3.
Just because
he went 4.
The offensive line has been a big priority this offseason. And anytime you face the Las Vegas Raiders, Crosby is on the other side there. And he can really just wreck a game. Max with 2 X's.
Yep.
Because he's crazy. Yeah. And he likes to get after the quarterback. And so the Mike McGlinchey coming in here had the injury during training camp there, but seems like he's doing better now. And, just want to see what I want to see what the whole offensive line looks like. But if I had to pick one player in particular, it would be Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah, they need him to play well. He's obviously kind of working his way back from injury. Got to keep Russ upright. Max Crosby has just terrorized these guys a little bit over the last few years. So they've got to be better on the offensive line. Mike is the leader of that group, like you said.
And he was the big free agent acquisition. So I think anytime you make a big free agent move, the first time they play in a Broncos uniform, you want to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
And he's a big fella. So they probably had to go out and get a different kind of uniform, just to be able to fit him. Like they couldn't just be like, what size are you? Let me go in the back, get that.
Yeah.
They had to do They had to do a big whole thing to get that for him, Mike.
That's true. Bigger jersey, bigger pants. Don't just have those pants laying around.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Watson, you okay over there?
Yeah, no, I just thought it was funny.
I'm going to go with... Weird guy.
It's funny, huh?
I'm going to go with Javonte Williams.
Oh, that was obvious. Next guy, but I'll just come up with something, I guess.
Yeah. I think the big question is just how much are we going to see Javonte? Sean Payton made it sound like there was going to be some sort of pitch count, some sort of snap restriction. I wonder how much that's going to be. Is it 20 snaps? Is it 30 snaps? I mean, if it's 30 snaps,
that's not a restriction.
That's not a big deal, right? It could be some sort of restriction, but then you're looking at like a 50-50 split with Pirine. But if Javonte can only get out there for 15 snaps and Pirine's going to play the other 40, that's a bigger difference.
How many snaps did he play against the Niners, Javonte? 12 snaps.
Yeah.
So you would imagine it'd be a little more than that,
I would think so.
Yeah.
But, can he get to 30 snaps?
Yeah.
Can he get to 35? I mean, is he going to be the main guy? Like, is he going to have more carries than Pirine? I would kind of be surprised, right? But I guess the real answer is we just don't know at this point what they plan to do, how healthy they feel he is. We haven't really seen him be as limited as we thought during training camp. But yeah, one, how much does Javonte play? And then two, what is he able to do? Does he break one? Does he set the tone? Obviously, he suffered his injury against the Raiders, and so I'm sure he wants to go out there and prove that he's back. And there's probably a little bit of added emotion because it happened against these guys. But I think the short answer is we just don't know how much he's going to be out there until game day, probably.
Yeah, and you think that the Broncos, they're going to be a running type of team, like they've been gearing up for this all year. So you kind of want to see what that looks like and how they're able to game plan things with Javonte. And so, yeah, a lot of eyes on him. And like you mentioned, I think that Javonte does think about, hey, this was the team that I got hurt against. And so there's definitely an emotional part of that with facing the Raiders. So I guess if I had to make up one, because I think that Javonte I was going to say Javonte. But
I'm sorry. You could have said it instead of McGlinchey.
No, because then you would have said McGlinchey.
Yeah.
And then what would I have done? I would have just been out there floating around. One guy I'm excited to just see how they get on the field is Drew Sanders. You thought I was going to say that. Yeah.
I knew it.
I've been excited about this guy ever since he had that interception last week against the Rams. I was like, gosh.
Been excited about this guy for the last 1 week.
I think that showed me something. That was an easy interception because he kind of threw it right at him. But
those are your favorite.
Him dropping back in coverage like that, that's a good sign that he's able to start to incorporate that into his game and be more than just a rusher or sort of that pressure player. I think that they're going to have to figure out how to get this guy on the field. And so what situations are they going to put him in to get him out there? Who are they going to take off the field? How are they going to get somebody like this on the field? Because I do think that he's dynamic enough where they're going to have to create situations where he can come out there so he can have an impact.
Yeah, he's a special talent. They got to find ways to do that. I'm sure as the season goes on, we'll see him more and more. But that whole front seven, Phil, I'm sure we'll talk about this more next week. They got a big test here because Josh Jacobs plays Who?
He's back?
He's back?
What?
No. Yeah, I know. Gosh, just hold out for one more week.
One more week.
Josh Jacobs plays like a Hall of Famer every time he plays the Broncos. And so
he led the league in rushing last year, right?
Yeah, but if you looked at last year was his breakout year, right? He had kind of just an average career prior to that, but if you looked at his rushing totals versus the Broncos, it was
for years.
It was like averaged 130, 140 yards against the Broncos and a touchdown, averaged 60 yards against everybody else. I mean, he had big games against the Broncos. So Zach Allen, DJ Jones, Jonathan Harris, Mike Purcell, Josie, Alex Singleton.
Big.
Put your big boy pants on and let's go to work.
We got to hit.
Time to hit.
Yeah. Run downhill.
A chance to send a message that, hey, we're not going to take this anymore.
We're not the same old Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see that.
That's who we're watching.
Nice.
So I'm just watching the offense, I guess.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
You're mainly watching the defense.
And McGlinchey.
Yeah.
That's true.
I do the touchdown watching. I'll watch the touchdowns. You don't.
I'll watch the stopping of the touchdowns. Could be nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a good list.
Ben Swanson, who are you watching?
Did we forget somebody?
I'm interested in the pass rush with
Frank Clark.
Yeah, Frank Clark and Randy Gregory.
What was the question?
Yeah, Jonathan Cooper.
I'm not worried about it.
Zach Allen, how much he can help provide some interior pressure. I think those are some interesting people to watch. I don't know.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
that's good.
Nice.
I am interested
Riley
to see what
Dixon?
that looks like.
Oh, the new kicker, too.
Oh, yeah.
Will
Well,
Lutz.
let's go.
It's
Lutz.
Will, not Will.
Will. Will.
Yeah.
Not Will.
No.
No.
That's too much. Will. No. Will.
Yeah.
And you say, let's go, let's. Let's go, let's. Let's go, let's. Let's go, let's.
If you like,
That's what you said. That's a
watch
chant.
Why
it.
don't you just say,
There for a little
let's
bit.
go?
You could say, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't think you think you don't need the other let's?
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that.
Because normally you say, let's go, Eric. Let's go, Eric. You know, that's what you would say, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
I don't think it
excited.
got me,
Yeah.
but that's all
Let's go, let's. Let's go. Yeah.
Perfect.
Maybe if it's like, if they're like in the like around the 45 or something, and then it's fourth down, then maybe Sean will be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Run out onto the field.
Nice.
Let's go. Go
Could
out
say
there.
that.
Yeah, kick field goal. So those are our guys I think that we're excited to see. So let's move on to topic number 2, Eric.
Not as important.
Well, everything's important, but this one maybe
The second topic.
it's
so.
the second topic, though. Yeah, that is true. Talking about the wide receiver position, Eric. Look at how the roster is constructed currently. The active roster in particular. Cortland Sutton is there. Marvin Mims Jr. is there.
Yep.
Brandon Johnson is there. And then Jerry Jeudy, which we don't know his status for.
But he's
for
there.
his first game. But he is there. And
He's here.
those are the wide receivers on the team.
That's true.
That is a fact as I'm sitting
is
here
a fact.
talking to you.
That is a fact.
That's not just something I thought about.
No. But, Phil, as you know, there are also 4 receivers on the practice squad.
Oh.
Go ahead and name them.
4 receivers on the practice squad.
Yep.
Okay, Lil Jordan Humphrey,
Yep.
Philip Dorsett,
Yep.
gosh, I feel like I'm missing somebody big.
You're missing.
Nobody big?
No.
Who are the other 2?
Michael Bandy.
Oh, Michael Bandy, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
of course. And David
He's
Sills,
famous. Oh, David Sills.
who just came over from the Giants.
Yeah, that's a new one.
That's a new one.
That one snuck by me there.
Yeah.
Bandy, you know, we knew about Bandy.
Of course.
Yeah, Mike Bandy.
We know about that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Bandy.
call him Mike. That's why you didn't know.
That's, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what? Bandy?
Who's Michael? Yeah.
Mike Bandy.
Oh, please dial
You all
in.
right?
Yeah.
Y'all okay?
If you get a little cut, you need.
Can't even finish it. Come on, Phil.
You need.
For your wedding, you do a DJ or you do a Bandy?
Oh man, let's get it out of control.
So yeah, for week 1, it's presumable that you could not have Jerry Jeudy. I mean, we don't know yet, but it's at least an option, right? That he may not be out there.
That would be 3 then.
So yeah, so you'd have
Healthy.
Cortland Sutton, Brandon Johnson, and Marvin Mims. In that case, I would imagine you would have to, and for people who are unfamiliar with the rules, back in COVID, you're allowed to elevate 2 players from the practice squad to the active roster just for that game. You can still do that. So you could bring up a Dorsett, a Bandy, a little Jordan Humphrey, a Sills. you still think it's funny, huh? Yeah.
We cannot talk about Bandy anymore.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Mike. You can't come up to the game because Phil can't say
Yeah.
your name. I mean, to me, Lil Jordan Humphrey is an intriguing guy to bring up for a game.
He had a good final preseason game.
Yeah, he did. Productive. A couple catches right on that opening drive.
Yeah.
He can block, which obviously I think is going to be important for any receiver in this offense, given how much we know they want to run the football. He was productive and sure-handed. I think got better and better as camp went along. Sean Payton said at one point, hey, I want to see a little bit more from Marquez Callaway and Lil Jordan Humphrey. I think, maybe you saw that they saw a little more from Lil Jordan Humphrey based on the fact that he's on the practice squad and Callaway's not. So, I don't know. Maybe you bring up one of these one of these new guys. I mean, Dorsett certainly has the speed. He's been in the league a long time, 2015 first-round pick.
Yeah.
But a guy that still has some speed. And then, Phil, I think the other thing to consider when you're talking about wide receiver is that Greg Dulcich can be split out wide and can be used as a de facto wide receiver if you need.
Yeah. They'll have pass catchers available to them there. So on game day, you think they'll bring up a couple of these guys if Judy's not able to go?
Well, so you can only bring up two, and so you've got to decide, okay, well, are we okay on the defensive line, or do we want to bring up Tyler Lancaster or PJ Mustipher? Are we good at corner, or do we need to bring somebody up?
Yeah.
Are we good elsewhere? So I do think if Judy does not play, you almost have to use both those spots or find a way to add another receiver to the active roster before then.
Yeah.
Just because it's one thing, I would say most teams go into a game with 5 active receivers, so that's not a big deal, but you can't, I don't know if you can go in with just 4 because then you quickly lose that ability. But yeah, exactly. An injury would be really impactful.
Yeah.
But maybe the Broncos look at what the Raiders are doing and say, hey, we want to play this game in big personnel groupings.
Yeah.
We want to have the tight ends out there a lot, and you're playing 2
Smash
wide.
mouth.
Yeah, and then maybe you can get by with 4. I don't know. So we'll have to see what happens, but I do think people are kind of worried about there's 4 receivers on the active roster, only 3 are practicing right now. Okay, yeah, but there's ways to get up to 5 here. And again, if you add somebody to the active roster, then we've heard Sean say several times, this roster could look very different next weekend than it does right now.
I would pay more attention to what he's saying there, too, because, like all camp long, he kept saying with the kicking competition, he was like, hey, in New Orleans, well, we went through a competition, and then at the end, we just picked a guy from outside. Yeah. And boom, it happened here. So when he talks about these things, it's like he means it. So I do think that this roster is going to continue to take shape over the course of the next week here. And he even said the first couple of weeks of the season, you see a lot of movement around the entire league. So, yeah, I think maybe some people were surprised that the Broncos didn't put in any claims after cut down day. But I do think they'll continue to sort of examine where they are, areas that they'll need. And, he was like, don't pay attention to individual numbers at these spots. He's like, it's about the entire roster construction at this point.
Right. And again, you don't have to place a roster or a waiver claim if you can go get Dorsett to sign with your practice squad anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then you've added him to your group. Yeah, can he get poached if he goes out and plays well? Yeah, of course. But you would first have the opportunity to sign him up to your active roster. So it does essentially the same thing here as claiming a guy when you bring in 3 outside guys to this roster.
And there's a lot of guys out there, I'm sure, that Sean is familiar with. Like, he seemed to know Philip Dorsett pretty well. So
yeah, and, hey, it doesn't hurt that Dorsett was in camp with the Raiders, and I'm sure find a little intel. I'm sure it's the same reason why the Raiders just picked up Callaway,
Yeah, you got to do whatever you can.
A little trickeration, a little gamesmanship.
Ooh, you think, huh?
I don't know if that's why, but I'm sure it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, of course not.
Like, hey, Philip, now that you're here, mind drawing up some of the stuff the Raiders are doing over there?
Are you talking to me or you're Philip Dorsett?
Philip with 2 L's.
That's me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
I can't draw up what the Raiders have been doing. I wasn't there.
I just thought you knew everything.
Well, I mean, I do that, but I can't draw them up, though.
Oh.
I just know it.
Got it. It's just kind of up there.
It's up there, yeah. When it's needed, I can do it. But,
I see.
Yeah, but I can't. No.
So they'll be okay. I mean, obviously, not having Jerry Jeudy hurts, but Marvin Mims has come into his own. I thought he had a really nice game against the Rams. The ability to track that ball in midair as you're kind of falling backwards, the deep one.
Oh, yeah. He looked a little like Emmanuel Sanders out there, I thought.
As somebody fast.
Yeah. Though just the way he sort of caught it like that, it was very much like an Emmanuel Sanders type of play. I think that's a pretty good comp for him.
Emmanuel?
Yeah.
So.
Maybe he's a little bit
bigger
thicker than Emmanuel,
yeah.
maybe. But that's a good comp, I think. Good hands, speed guy.
You think your comp is good? Is that what you're saying?
The guy that I thought of.
you're like, that's a good comp. The guy that I,
Yeah, and I that's what I think.
yeah.
I don't think my comp is a
If
bad
he was
one.
Emmanuel Sanders, you'd be happy with that.
I think you would be, yeah.
Swanson, you disagree?
No.
Oh, I thought you were shaking your head over there.
No, I was nodding.
Oh,
Just kind of sideways.
good nodding.
A sideways nod.
What?
Yeah.
It was up and down.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have the tape, so we will never know.
Yeah, that's true. It's gone forever.
All right.
But yes, I think that they'll be okay. I'm not too worried about it at this point. But yeah, not having Jerry Jeudy would be a big loss. But, you can game plan and scheme and try to do different things to get around it.
Let's play your
At
favorite
least
game.
for a little bit.
Let's say the Broncos. How many times do you want the Broncos to throw the ball?
Oh, okay. Throw the ball?
So let's say they have 60
40 times.
60 oh my God.
Is that too many? Okay,
Yes.
fine. 35 times.
They're supposed to be a run
30
first
times
offense.
then, fine. How
Okay.
many runs do you want them to run? 30 and 30? You want it to be
Yeah, I
right
want
down
it
the
to
middle?
be pretty close.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
30,
do 30, 30.
30 and 30. How many targets do you want Cortland Sutton to have?
Of the 30?
Yeah. Let's assume Jerry Jeudy does not play.
8.
8? Okay.
Yeah, probably. I think that the wide receiver or the running backs will get a lot of
Okay, how many targets do you think the running backs get? You can just leave it running backs.
running backs? Maybe like 14. A lot. I think they're going to get a lot. He likes to throw the ball to the running backs.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the screens and all that.
So
There's going to be a lot.
we're at 22 of 30. Okay.
Maybe that's too much for the running back. Fine, 10 for the running backs. 8 for Sutton, 10 to Dulcich, maybe like 6.
Okay.
What am I at there? 24.
24. Okay.
Yeah.
How many for Mims?
Mims like a 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah, so 28 and then
2 for
to
somebody else. Brandon Johnson.
Yeah, maybe to Brandon or Troutman or something.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That feels like a lot to Cortland Sutton, but
8?
But hey, listen.
You
who
think
knows?
8 is too much to your star wide receiver?
I mean, we know that Sean Payton has a history of having guys that like
a lot of targets.
one guy, so it's possible.
Yeah, that's how I would break it down.
30 passes doesn't. Maybe 35.
Yeah, 30 seems a little bit low, but that's.
But if you only have 60,
but if you want to pound the ball, if you want to run the rock, and you're playing
60,
like
they probably win.
If they ran on all 60,
If they ended up running all 60, that
probably.
Or they just decided they didn't want to win.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever.
I don't think that they do that.
I don't know. In the last game, they had 36 rushes and 24 pass attempts. So 60 total.
And they did
In
not.
which game?
They didn't win that one.
The last game of last season, the Chargers game.
They did win that game.
Oh, they won. I thought you were talking about the last Raiders game. Why are you just picking a random game?
Yeah.
Thank you.
In week
Good.
6
Good
last year, they
perspective.
ran a lot.
Wait, say
I thought
that
you meant against the
Swanson?
last
year,
Raiders game.
winning formula.
Last year,
Jerry Rosberg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They ran the ball 36 times.
and threw it how many?
24, 60 exactly.
Oh my gosh, what were the targets?
What about the last time they played the Raiders? I don't know. Crazy.
No, I think this is fair because this is the Rosberg. I think is similar to what Sean Payton wants to do, right?
Okay.
Targets. Sutton had
faster.
the most with 7, and then Judy was 6.
7 and 6.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
Running backs 18.
No, running backs. Looks like 2.
That's got to go.
That's-
Unless you
yeah,
count
that's
way
Andrew
higher.
Beck, so 4.
No, he's a
Yeah.
tight end / fullback.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I
that's
do think
interesting.
the screen game is going to be a big part of this thing.
Yeah, okay, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll throw. I'm going to say he'll throw 28 passes.
You say 28?
Yeah.
Okay, I say 35.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Every game has its own story. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. It's got its own. It's got its own arc. Sometimes you got to throw it more. Sometimes you got to run it more. That game, it was cold. It was January.
Wasn't it really nice
in
out?
the altitude?
It was beautiful that day.
And it was probably freezing, and there was
It was like
ice
45
everywhere.
degrees at kickoff.
43 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's icy.
How are you going to handle these conditions? You're facing a team from Southern California. Man,
Okay. Well, we'll see, I guess.
we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I say 35. You say 28.
Yep.
Swanson?
30.
Wow.
Smart.
I'll split the
Smart.
difference.
Smart. Okay. All right. Any shout outs you want to get to here?
Yeah, Phil, I'm gonna
Hold on. We got an email, right? I'm sorry. I cut you off there.
We already did that.
You did the Renee.
we
What
did
about
the
the
email.
Andy Means? Didn't we have one? Sorry. I like to get that before the shout outs. I apologize. I apologize. Do we have any Andy Means?
Andy Maines writes, "What's up, guys? Andy Maines from the 860.
Connecticut, I think. No. Is it
I don't
Connecticut? I don't know.
Football's right around the corner. Let's go Broncos. Hope our O-line can hold up and really give Russ a chance to show his stuff.
Yeah.
Still believe in Russ, but this is going to be an important year for him. Stay safe out there, guys."
Thank you very much, Andy. Yeah. Like I mentioned, Mike McGlinchey, I mentioned that.
Yes, you did.
I mentioned it. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what the O-line can do here. The starting five are pretty good. Interested to see how Bowles bounces back after a leg injury, But it seems like they have confidence in him. Hopefully their depth won't be tested too much.
Hope not.
I hope not. But they got big Cam Fleming. He could come in and could play some positions there. So,
Yeah, he can.
yeah. Do they have Cam Fleming's pants or no? Are they?
Oh, because
that
of
big?
McGlinchey?
Yeah, they're big. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Cam Fleming was here last year, so you'd presume
Maybe
that
they already have them.
Yeah.
They already have them. Okay. Okay. Now you can get to your shout outs.
Okay.
Thank you.
We go from Andy Maines, Phil, to Luke Maine.
Excuse me.
Luke Maine, he tweeted at us. Well, really just me. He had a child,
Oh wow! And he wanted a shout out.
Hudson James Maine, and he said his son's first picture was with the Broncos, a little baby with a little Bronco blanket.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
nice.
congrats.
Congratulations to the Maine household.
Yeah, this is Maine household listening to the Maine Broncos podcast.
You ever think he goes over to Main Street?
It's MAIN.
Oh,
Yeah,
got it. Not MANE.
no.
Wow. Okay. Hudson, Maine. Is that what you said?
Wow, you're just doxing them?
Tommy Hudson.
No, I'm trying to.
That wasn't.
Trying to
You
make
weren't
sure.
supposed to say that, Phil.
I'm just trying to make sure. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, please.
Go back.
No, you
in.
just listened the first time.
Many
Hudson James Maine.
yeah, so I said Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice name. I like that name.
Thank you.
What?
Afternoon podcast. We
Yeah,
have gotten
what?
so loopy.
All right, any shout-outs for
We
you?
need supervision.
Of course, Liz Geralds.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard that she tried to get into the studio today.
You know, there was a fracas going on outside the
Outside?
podcast studio as we were recording.
She tried to break in here because the shout outs period, that's a big, sort of her favorite part of the show.
We remained professional as always and kept our composure
Yeah, of course.
despite the tomfoolery that was going on outside our
Yeah.
I think pretty heavily protected studio window.
Yeah. It's that's pretty thick glass. So just in case.
Thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think the Broncos had some service men and women out as part of a salute to service boot camp with USAA earlier this week.
Send it down to Swanson.
Yeah, Swanson was there. You were taking
was
some
there.
photos, right?
Yeah, they got to meet pretty much, seemed like the whole team going
Whole
down the
team came
line.
over? Yeah.
And then they did their little boot camp in the field house where they do like a
Combine
almost like
drills.
a combine
Yeah,
drills.
almost, yeah.
Yeah. Rotation of 40-yard dash. My favorite's the wide receiver gauntlet.
Ooh.
They do that. That's always fun to watch.
I do like
Do
watching
you
that one.
participate or no?
I did not.
He flew through that thing.
Yeah.
That always is interesting because they don't really catch the ball. It kind of just goes into their hands and they
Okay,
drop it. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Don't give it an opportunity to actually drop it. Just kind of make it look
smack
like
it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I caught it. What do you mean?
Smart.
Yeah. That's what you kind of do at the combine anyway.
That's right.
So those are some nice shout outs,
Yeah,
I think.
that was really nice.
Anybody else you want to shout out? Swanson, like a famous painter or something?
Shout out to Pablo Picasso, former Broncos painter.
Former Broncos. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Anybody
it.
else?
I
No,
think
that's it.
Oh,
Okay.
we should tell people to check out the Broncos game show
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's coming
right.
up 7 p.m. on KUSA, right? On
Friday.
Friday night, huh?
Yeah, team back-to-back
It's gonna be
versus
big.
team 50.
And for those
Back to back. Back to back.
on Broncos YouTube at 8 p.m. Mountain, I think.
Yeah.
For those not in the market.
And
yeah.
who was featured on those teams?
Swanson was down there.
Okay.
Swanson's everywhere, really,
Team
it sounds like
back to back. That would be Rod Smith, Ed McCaffrey, and Todd Ruin.
Tom Ruin.
Tom Ruin.
Tom
Come
is
on.
former CU buff.
Oh, was he?
Go.
Yeah.
And then Team 50, that would
50.
be Team 50.
Oh, is it Fitty?
I think so.
Ryan Harris, David Bruton Jr., and who was the last?
Tyler Columbus.
Tyler Columbus.
Yeah.
Of course,
Right.
Mount Columbus.
Yeah, Mount Columbus.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was a good time.
It was fun.
That's what I
People there.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Fans were there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
live
for-
studio audience.
Anytime you get like Rod and Ed together, there's some tomfoolery. It's kind
yeah.
of like this show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You think
It's a
Ed
good
is
time.
Rod's everything?
That's a good. Yes, I do. I do.
Am I
like
Rod
to
or are
think
you
about
Rod?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Probably questions.
Questions
for
best
next
left
time.
unanswered,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
That makes
think.
me.
You'd be Tom
Tom
Rowan.
Rowan.
Yeah.
No,
What's the
you're
matter with
good.
that?
That's fine.
Tom played an important role.
Swanson's Todd.
And of course, Tom is married to Amy Van Dyken, Olympic swimmer.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wow, you're full of facts.
I know all the facts.
Fun
That's
facts.
my childhood team. That back
That's
to back,
true.
so I know a lot about that.
I thought the 77 Broncos were your childhood team.
Shout out to Randy Gradishar
1960.
again.
Yeah,
He's
he did it
still,
last week, but still a finalist.
yeah, he's still doing it. He was there with the USA group, so
Yeah, he's always active in that.
yeah. Derek Wolf was
And the
here.
uniforms.
Todd Davis.
Got to get him right on the uniforms.
Yeah.
That's true. He was paying attention.
Circling back
gloves.
on the earlier.
The
yeah.
gloves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Brought
that's true.
everything full
Nice.
circle.
Wow, that
how
is
we
true.
do
Really
things
wraps
here.
us up with a bow.
Because, of course, if you don't know listening, Randy Gradishar is the guy down on the field during pregame walking around, making sure that all the players' uniforms are up to the NFL code.
Yep.
So that's a big job.
Code.
The code.
Makes it sound like. Don't talk about it. But you just know
You just
what it
know
is.
it. Yeah, you should just know it. We don't talk about it. So, anyway, next week we'll have a much more on this Raiders game. We'll do a lot of previewing on that one.
A lot
Right?
of
We'll
excited.
be doing some big
Shows
can't
a
wait.
week. Oh my goodness.
I don't think
Oh,
next
not
week
next
we
week,
won't
Swanson.
be.
Just relax.
Next week it will not be a Monday show.
Oh.
The following Monday after the first game, we'll be breaking down the game. That's what the Monday show's all about. So, still a Monday show, just not at Breck Brew.
Yep.
So, all right, that's going to do it for us. For Ben Swanson and Eric Dalal, I'm Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutral Zone.